Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to this next part of the Beautiful Chord series. Thank you for coming back to this next lesson. For this week I wanted to kind of do what I did last week for the lesson. So you heard me play the progression at the beginning of this video, and now I'm going to show you guys the chords and the way that I was playing the progression at the beginning of this video. I figured for these next couple lessons it'd be fun just to kind of show you guys some really cool sounding progressions and kind of the chords behind them and kind of my idea behind creating the progressions. Now for this week, the idea I had for the progression was just to create like a chromatic bass line starting from C, okay, then going down to B, B flat, A flat, then G, then resolve that G up to C. So it's just kind of a chromatic bass line moving down to G, then resolving to C was kind of the main idea I had behind this chord progression. So yeah, that's kind of the thought process behind it. So let's go through now and I'll show you guys the chords that I'm going to be using and kind of some of my thought process behind the chord voicings that I chose. So let's get started. Okay guys, so for the first chord we have a C sus2. So here's what the voicing looks like. Pointer 3 to the A, pinky 5 to the D, and open G, and then middle at 3 to the B. Okay, so that's the first chord in the progression. Some people might call this like a add 9, but I think the add 9 is needing the third in the chord, so I'm calling this kind of a sus2. And you can move this voicing around as well, maybe up to the 6th fret, 8th fret, 3rd, 1st. That's a really nice voicing to move around. Okay, from this voicing, we are going to, this could be called a couple different things. This could be called a B minor 7 sharp 5, or it could be called basically like a G major add 9 in first inversion. But here's the shape we get. This is a really cool voicing. I'm actually probably going to do a lesson on this later on to show you guys some really cool ways to use this chord. But at any rate, here's the chord. The pointer finger is doing a bar at the 2nd fret, starting at the A string. Pinky 5th fret of the D. Then the G is barred at the 2nd fret by the pointer. Middle is at the 3rd fret of the B. Okay, so that's the voicing we get. Okay, so from those two, a really nice movement from one to the next. One of the main reasons is that we keep that D as the melody note. Okay, the next chord, really beautiful. And again, for this progression here, I was just harmonizing like a chromatic walk down to G. So once again, just C, B, B flat, A flat, G, then resolving up to C. Okay, so I was just kind of using whatever chords I thought sounded good. There's no real rhyme or reason to the chords I'm using. It's just whatever sounded good from one to the next, trying to keep some kind of a melody movement going on. Okay, really I was thinking the melody for these chords, whatever sounded good with the melody I was hearing in my head. That's what I went with. Okay, next chord is like basically like a B flat sus2 with a sharp 4 in it. Okay, so here's the voicing you get. This is a little bit of a trickier chord. So we have pointer 1st fret of the A, middle 3rd fret of the D, and then pinky is going to bar at the 5th fret of the G and the B. So a really pretty chord nonetheless. It's very much like a Lydian sound. We just don't have the 3rd in there. So we get this to start. Nice and slow. Okay. Okay, the next chord is like that B chord that we had been looking at, the 2nd chord that we had learned. It's the same exact chord, we're just now using it with open strings. So in this case it could be like an A minor 7 sharp 5, or it could be basically an F major add 9 in first inversion, either or. But here's the voicing: open A string, ring 3 of the D, open G string, and then pointer 1 of the B. That's the voicing we get. You guys may have played this before. Okay, and I kind of came up with that voicing. I think one of the first voicings I played in this was just like a standard A minor 7, but I really heard the melody doing that, going down to that C note. So I figured, well, I'll just harmonize it with this chord then. And that progression right there was exactly the sound I was looking for. So that chord was kind of the chord that stuck with me. Okay, continuing on. The next chord is basically an A flat dominant 7 with a flat 5 or a sharp 4. So basically this is a chord we're going to end up with, and this is a super common jazz voicing. I just chose to harmonize it because then we get the melody going up. So we get the melody doing that. So here's the chord, middle at 4 the low E, ring 4 the D, pinky 5 the G, then pointer 3 the B. We get that voicing. Okay, so a really lovely sound. Okay, then this is going to resolve a half step down, just following our chromatic bass line, to a G13, dominant 13. Okay, so this chord resolves to that. So this is pointer 3 of the low E, middle 3 of the D, ring 4 of the G, and then pinky 5 of the B. Okay, now I kind of wanted this melody to go up in whole steps here, so this is a melody we get. Okay, so I'm resolving this to a Lydian chord actually, so here's the chord that I resolved to. It's kind of a common jazz move to resolve to like a Lydian chord as the 1 chord. So here's the voicing. Middle 8 of the low E, ring 9 of the D, pinky 9 of the G, pointer at 7 of the B. Okay, then I resolve that. Finally to the exact same chord we had down here, that B minor 7 sharp 5, just all the way up here now at the 7th fret. And this time I'm doing a full bar with my pointer. Well, excuse me, not a full bar, but I am grabbing that high E string in there so I get the 7th of the chord to resolve it, okay? I think it sounds really, really pretty to resolve it like that. So that's kind of how I resolved the final part of this progression and finished it out like that. And I think it sounds really, really cool. So through the chords really slow. The C, I'll just call out the root notes. So the C, the B, the B flat, the A flat, the G, and then finally resolving to our C. So that's kind of the full progression there. I don't really have time in this lesson to talk about, how each of those voicings is functioning and stuff, but just take some of those voicings as, as well, and just try moving them around the fretboard, putting them in some other locations. Some of those voicings are pretty common and popular jazz voicings. So these are obviously, super usable voicings, and you can move them all around the neck, and they're going to sound great. So one more time through the progression, nice and slow from the C, flat, A flat, G, C. Okay, and especially, like I said, I'm going to be doing a lesson on this voicing right here. Coming up pretty soon, this minor 7, sharp 5. There's a lot of cool ways we can use that. But at any rate, that is the progression there. I hope you guys enjoyed that and the sound of that progression. This is a little more in-depth than last week's progression, but a little more of a complex, kind of cool sound that I think is just a great sounding progression. So hopefully this was usable to you guys. Feel free to leave me any comments or any questions in the comment section, and I will see you all back here next week for the next part of this lesson series. Thanks so much, everyone.